Good day to all of you. We will be waiting for a few minutes for all participants to arrive. So please stay with us. Yes, the clock is showing 10 o'clock here, our time zone, but we will give all a possibility to connect. So just a minute more, then we will get started. Okay. Yes, it's just about 10 o'clock local time here in Sweden. My name is Michael Holmgren. I'm representing Advenica. I'm working for Advenica in the sales department, responsible for partners, and will be hosting this partner webinar. And with me, I have Tove.
Yes, hello, my name is Tove Bergdahl. I represent product management here at Advenica. I'm responsible for the data diode product portfolio. Happy to be here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to have you here
Thanks.
today, Tove. Yes, we will. The idea here is to give you, as partners, some quick updates on our products. And without further ado, we will continue.
Questions?
Right.
Yeah.
Good one. Good one. So you are of course welcome to ask questions. Please use the chat, and our colleague behind the screen here will take care of those and give it to us at the end of the session, where we will address the questions. So, as partners to Advenica, you are of course well aware who we are, but anyway, we are a Swedish cybersecurity company, so providing cybersecurity at your service. And we work in different areas. So we do cross-domain solutions, which is the main area where we will be talking about today. We do also have customer support and solutions, so services for developing customer-specific products, but also services and adjusting our products to your demands and needs, or to your customers' demands and needs. The consulting we do is always in close proximity to our products. So we don't do, general cybersecurity consulting. It's always in connection with our products. But we can help and support you guys with that and see to it that we get a good solution for our customers. And then we have the third area where we're working is high security encryption devices like national security encryption. Those are, or national security encryption devices. This is a topic we will not address today. So, but again, that's an area where we're working. So we have been quite active. Hopefully, you've seen that the last couple of months, providing new products, but also new features to existing products and new versions of existing products, and especially within Tove's area. And these are some of the new product launches that we already have launched, and you are of course welcome to talk to us more about them. We will go through them all later on in this presentation. So, a lot of times when we are out talking about, especially data diodes, a lot of customers express that they truly understand the concept and they appreciate it and the easiness and how it makes life easy for them. But they always say, or almost always say, on occasion, we need to get in as well. So we took that information back and thought, how can we address this? So a typical challenge for a lot of facility owners or manufacturers is that you need remote access to equipment that not necessarily are online. They can be offline, or you need connectivity that are not IP-based, but direct USB or serial RS-232 terminal, for example. Or within this type of area, there's a lot of legacy equipment, old stuff that not necessarily should be connected at all. For example, old XP, Windows XP servers or clients. Also, it's difficult with access control or session control. Who did what, when, why, and so forth. So it's and then we have third party. So you need support, or the facility owners need support from a third party. How do we give them access on a temporary basis? A lot of times you will find that there are workarounds that have been implemented that are not compliant with the policy of the company. It might even be a manufacturer of a device that had their own 3G connectivity or 4G connectivity directly to their device, which of course is a breach of the security policy of the manufacturer or the facility owner. But on the other hand, to have someone connect to my equipment to give me support directly is of course much more effective than having mails going back and forth, try this, do this, and so forth. So connectivity is a good thing, but it's also a challenge. And if you don't provide connectivity for your third-party support, then the support will be slower and more difficult. And we are well aware of this, as our customers want support, and especially on the data diodes, it's by default not reachable. The inside of the data diode is not reachable from the outside. So this is what people have been asking for. And our solution to this problem is that we can provide an ad hoc remote access that's available when needed and as needed. It can give a third party access to a device, not necessarily using full IP connectivity. It can be KVM access, keyboard, video, mouse. So more or less putting a remote worker or remote consultant on an extended keyboard, video, and mouse connectivity. It can be IP connectivity, it can be USB connectivity, it can be serial connectivity. It provides a hassle-free user administration, very easy to give a new user an access and also remove access very easily. And also important, there is no need to do any changes of your OT or IT infrastructure of the site. So no need to open any firewall rules or no need to get any IP addresses or things like that. So this is the device I'm talking about. It's the Advenica remote access device. On this slide here, you can see that the size is more or less of a palm size, so you can have it in your palm. As a reference, you can see the RJ45 Ethernet connection here. So it's a very small device, portable. It has a battery installed in it, so you can, take it in your pocket and then connect it to a device without having any power, finding any power source or anything like that. It is, of course, securely built from the beginning with a zero trust principle, or according to the zero trust principle. We have done a lot of testing and confirming that there are no known vulnerabilities. However, I think that the really uniqueness here is that the access is only provided when needed, which of course, even with vulnerabilities, the window of opportunity for an attacker will be very, very small and very, very difficult to find. It is very flexible and versatile. So we have connectivity for, as I said, RS-232 serial terminal. We have connectivity for Ethernet. We have connectivity on the other side here for HDMI, USB-C, and micro USB. Inside the box is a 4G modem. It has Wi-Fi inside as well, and it actually has a power relay. So potentially you could physically hard restart a device by removing power and then providing power again. It's clientless, so no need for a client, nor on the target side or the client side. So you can work without installing any clients on the devices. It provides out-of-band connectivity. So this is how we can connect to a device directly without having to do anything on the network, and no firewall ports needs to be opened or anything like that. And we can also work with products that are offline. So products that normally is not connected to any network whatsoever, completely isolated. We can still have access to that on a temporary basis. So the key features for a OEM or a machine builder that wants to use this. But I would also say that you as a partner, this is a great product if you would like to provide advanced support for your customers. So we have a lot of connectivity types, as I mentioned before. You can use it only connecting when needed, so minimizing the cyber attack surface. Out-of-band connectivity, as I mentioned before. And you can get eyes on your site during the remote support, because you can actually connect a camera to the device, and maybe the controller of a unit says that it's turning, but is it actually turning? Well, you can have a camera and actually look at the device turning, as an example. The concept here also is that, as you can see, there is only one button on this device. So a very non-IT technical guy should be able to help you connect to the device, push the button, and provide access. And when he pushes the button, there is a one-time password generated in the display here, which he will read to the one connecting. So it also comes with a two-factor authentication as well. So you can run this in two modes. Either you can have it in attended access, which is the most unique, according to me at least, alternative, or you can have it in unattended access, meaning that no one needs to physically be with the device or at the device and do anything with it. Whether the attended access, someone actually needs to say, okay, I would like to have help with this. I will connect the device and I will give access temporarily. And then when the problem is solved, just disconnect the device and it will be offline again. So we also developed this concept we call secure machine connection, which gives you, which is a combination of our traditional data diodes together with this remote access device. So by using this combination, the secure machine connection, you can get your continuous data flow out from your manufacturing site, for example, to either internally, but also to the OEMs, so they can do predictive maintenance and whatever they're going to use the data for, business intelligence and so forth. It might even be a SOC service that wants to use the information from the devices. So you can have a continuous 24/7 data flow over the data diode out without exposing your network to the surrounding world. And then you use the remote access device to give temporary access or bidirectional access from outside and in. So this is the concept of a secure machine connection. Whether it's attended or unattended, it of course matters based on the situation. So the benefits here is that we can safeguard the network integrity, minimize risk of supply chain breaches, and combine our data diode technology with our new Advenica remote access device. So yeah, we think this is a very neat and good alternative or solution that we can provide. Now, this is a slide that if I was in your shoes as audience to a webinar, I would hate. But we bring it in anyway because there's a lot of text. But we thought that we will share this with you, and hopefully you can use those arguments when talking about this solution to your customers. But we think that what we provide for manufacturers are a good night's sleep. They can trust our data diodes, not letting anything in. They can they know that they can get access to the site if needed. They know that they will maintain network integrity. They allow for remote access at a minimum risk. They can get remote support when needed. Minimized risk for supply chain breaches. And improve compliance with, for example, the NIS2 directive here in Europe, but there might be other directives. And it's very good to use this type of solution because it's easy to explain to the that you are compliant compared to other solutions. And for the OEM builders, it's quite similar, or OEM or machine builders. Good night's sleep. They know that they can get data 24/7 without risking their customers' production. They can add advanced or additional services securely to the customers. They can give the secure remote support when needed. Minimum risk of being exposed to liability or being liable. Avoid supply chain breaches and only bidirectional data on occasion. So the solution, as I said, a Advenica data diode and the Advenica remote access device in combination. So for example, if we take the DD1G data diode, which is very much well known by most of you and very popular in the OT space or OT to IT space. It is provides communication in one direction without any software logic. It's based on the laws of physics, so it's a potential. There are no known physical phenomena you can use to send data in the wrong direction over a data diode. It's a pure hardware device, so no configuration, no patching, no updating. And it protects sensitive equipment by keeping the air gap intact in one direction. It's high performance, Ethernet layer 2, so no latency added or anything like that, and it's gigabit throughput. And it can be combined with our data diode engine proxy software that we will talk more about later on. And then in combination with the secure remote access device with all the features and all the possibilities that I've been mentioning before. So this is what we call secure connected machine. So coming into Tove's favorite topic of
course.
of the world.
Yep.
Yeah. She has kids, but the data diodes is the.
They are not unidirectional.
No, they are not. Sorry. So data diodes. First of all, we would like to show you this slide because we at Advenica have a definition of what a data diode is. Not all other vendors have the same definition. So, for example, there are data diode, software-based data diodes, which probably is great products, but not a data diode according to our definition. So this is how we define a data diode. First of all, we use optical technology to guarantee the unidirectional data flow. So due to this technology, it's physically impossible to send data in the wrong direction over the data diode. It is an alternative to air gap. So if you have an air gap network, you can keep that air gap but still get data out because the air gap will be intact in one direction. And it gives persistent cybersecurity. And this is probably one of the most important things, according to me. I mean, high security is, of course, the baseline, so to say. But persistent cybersecurity means that if you install a data diode today and you leave it for 5 years or 10 years, it will be equally secure as it is today. So it doesn't. You don't need to do any patching or updating and so forth. It is what it is. It will only send data in one direction. And if you compare this to the great alternatives of software-based solutions like firewalls and others, which are great, and we're not saying that you shouldn't buy a firewall, but it demands so much more work to keep it secure, but also to explain for an auditor that how it's configured and how it's maintained. With a data diode, it is persistent. Sorry about that. So some of the benefits of the Advenica data diodes is that all of them are based on this optical hardware separation. They are all built as high assurance devices, and we have national approvals up to top secret level, coming from the defense background as Advenica has. So into the products, the data diode products. Those of you who have been working with Advenica for a while, you all know our very popular DD1G. It's a well-known data diode, very good for different use cases. However, we have now launched a second generation of the DD1G. So if you're familiar with it, you can see that it looks different than it used to be, or it used to look. We have added some functions. However, the basic of the product is the same as the old one. So it's very. If the old one works, then this one will work as well.
Yeah, the basic data diode function is, of course, still there, and it's still only hardware-only product.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So what we have done is that there's a new form factor, as you can see, and in the old one, you had to decide whether you wanted it to be standalone or DIN mounted. Now you don't have to do that. You get both in one and the same, and you can DIN mount it in different directions. So it's very flexible. Also, something new with this is that you can use power of Ethernet to power the device. So you have external power supplies, so you don't need to use power Ethernet, but you have the option to use power Ethernet. And you don't have to decide upfront either. So it's in there.
You could even combine one side external power and one side power over Ethernet.
Right.
Yeah.
Which actually means that you can potentially get up to 4 times redundancy on the power using 2 power inlets and 2 times power over Ethernet, if you would like to do that. Otherwise, it's size wise that I think it's very similar to the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not a lot of news there. Also, an important feature update is that the old one used to have 12-volt power, which we realized was a problem for a lot of industrial customers because it's standardized to have 24 volts in the cabins of the products or the technology cabins. Now we have 24 volts as well, so we are more in line with this de facto standard. And this product can be used in collaboration or in combination with our proxy software that we will talk about later on as well.
Price-wise, we can say that it's the same as the old one.
Right.
So no
change.
No change there.
Yeah. So it's 3,000 euros list price. Okay. This is a brand new product from Advenica. It's called the DD-SFX 10G, a very smooth.
Sorry about
smooth
that.
name.
Yeah.
If you are familiar with network technology and so forth, you know that it's very popular now to use SFPs or SFP Plus if you want 10 gig to be able to choose your the right fiber interface that you want to use, or copper interface for that matter. This is a SFP data diode. So we have a sending SFP and a receiving SFP. So or SFP Plus, sorry about that. And it's 10 gig. So you can actually build your own data diode using our SFP Plus data diodes, and by one sending and one receiving. Put them into your devices of your choice. It can be servers or computers or switches and routers or firewalls or whatever, and then just have a standard fiber link in between. And it has the range of 10 kilometers, so you can actually have two data centers. One is a sending data center and one is a receiving data center, and it can be up to 10 kilometers apart using a standard fiber link. So we think that this opens up for a lot of options for us, a lot of possibilities, and we are quite excited over this product.
It's our first 10 gig
diode. So the first 10 gig diode, and something that we can build a lot around.
Yeah.
So a lot of flexibility for us and for you as partners, of course. But again, remember that you always need to buy both a transmitter and the receiver. So buying one is just plain stupid. We should also mention that, as we said, the main benefits: 10 gig, optical fiber interfaces. It will give you a very resilient enclosure. It can be very flexible. Let's say that you have this purpose-built computer for industrial environment, for defense environment, wherever, ruggedized. As long as it has an SFP port, you can use it. But we should mention also that even if we follow the standards that's out there, and if most of you probably know, that there is a standard, and everybody agrees on the standard, but there's a lot of incompatibility as well between within this space. So even if you have a Cisco switch and a Fortinet SFP, they follow the same standard. Doesn't mean that it necessarily works together. It should work together. So with that said, we urge you to try. I mean, if it works, it works. Otherwise, we need to find another solution. But there's not a lot of changes that we can do to this product. So yeah, you more or less try and error. So the use cases or how to use them is that it's simple plug-in SFPs. Even me and Tove managed to install one of those. You can transmit data securely in one direction up to 10 kilometers. And you can use the hardware of your choice for the specific environment that you're operating in. So moving forward, this is typically use cases where we get a lot of requests from different type of infrastructure where you want to get data out, but you don't want to expose your sensitive network. You want to be able to enable real-time monitoring, predictive maintenance, and machine-to-machine communication. But you need the access to be secure. So no one can come in. But the problem is that, and this is where our data diodes shines, so to say. But a lot of those infrastructure are not like close to your nearest bus stop, if I say that. Yeah. It might be, it might be offshore. It might be along railway tracks. It might be in the woods somewhere. So
it might be very distributed, as with our fourth example, that you have many installations.
So, many small installations, but you still need them to be protected. Yeah. So in our conversations with different customers and partners, we realized that there is a challenge using, for example, the DD1G, and that is if this site has more than one device and has a small infrastructure, and the fact that we don't even have an IP address on the DD1G is a challenge if you do some changes in your environment. So we get a lot of requests for people saying that, well, could you at least give us an IP address?
Yeah, DD1G looks great, but we want to be able to access it using an IP. Yeah,
exactly. So for that reason, and up until now, I should say that all the products we've been speaking about are ready to ship. So you just don't wait. You just give us the orders and we will start shipping. Or we ship immediately, I would say. What we're going to talk about now is roadmap.
Yep.
So it's not for shipping yet. Tove, where do you commit to anything?
Always dangerous to commit, but this year and some summertime, I would say.
Summertime.
Yeah. When the sun shines, then this product.
Yeah. I heard early summer, maybe spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kidding. But summertime, hopefully we will see this being ready for shipping. And the product we are talking about is a product we call or have named DD500E. It is a very small device for DIN mounting, and I don't know if it's, but I actually have it here in my hand. So it's a small DIN mountable device. It is a data diode.
According to our definition.
According to our definition, it is a data diode. It is. It does have a small piece of software inside, or actually two pieces of software, one on each side.
One on each side, yes.
That gives it an IP address, which of course make life much easier for our customers, especially if they have a changing environment on the inside. So with this device, you can install it on remote sites and small installations in around the world, and it will give you a secure export of field device data, and it will ensure integrity of the operation environment it's protecting. And it again is guaranteed physical separation using optical one-way, according to our definition of a data diode. Now I don't remember if we had another slide as well. So the main benefits of this is that you can provide a one-way communication that is guaranteed through the hardware, and it's very easy to explain. So a lot of those customers we've been talking about, or partners we've been talking with about this, for them it's important that they can explain to their customers.
Yeah, it's often their customers' requirements that their network is completely air-gapped.
Exactly.
And this makes it possible to explain to them that yes, it is, but we can bring data out.
Right. So, or we can bring data out without exposing your network.
Yeah.
So it's quite convenient and very easy to explain for customers.
Yeah, for our customers to explain to their customers who may not at all be familiar, or often they are not familiar with data diodes, but this is a checkbox in their solution that yes, your environment is protected.
Exactly. And I mentioned before, a very small form factor, fits in small cabinets, DIN mountable. It has all our other data diodes are 1 gig, and then the SFP Plus is 10 gig. This is 100 megabit, so it's a bit lower in bandwidth. However, it has the software installed on the device.
Yeah, and we've seen also that 100 megabit is actually quite common in OT environments. So,
at least for this type.
For this type of installation environment.
So it shouldn't be a concern. Of course, it needs power. So it has, as you can see on the top here, it has redundant power inlets, standardized 24 volts. As we spoke about, the DD1 also has 24 volt.
Yeah.
It also has power Ethernet, so you can power it using power Ethernet from any of the sides. And then on the bottom, I actually saw that this picture is better. Here is two interfaces to do the administration of the device. So one for each side. And the concept here is install and forget.
Yeah. You should be able to configure it once. Should be easy, low touch, as we say, configuration. Install it on your DIN rail.
Yeah.
Close to your railway track or wherever you want it, and you should be able to forget about it, and it should just do the job.
So that's the goal and the aim, and we think that we come very close.
Yep.
And actually, I think it was a funny story you told me about, the feedback when we created this and we had this great idea of features we could bring in and
Nu.
all right, guys. Sorry about that. Seems to be some technical problem. Maybe a data diode in in the wrong way. So yeah, I think we you heard the story about not the customer not wanting to add more than necessary software, keeping it to a minimum, to avoid having to patch and so forth.
Yeah. So actually, a question we get when we show this product is sometimes, at least, is do we have the same software proxies as we have on our large diode DD1000i, which is a product that many know about, and it's software, but it's not the same. So this is very slimmed,
Purpose written.
Purpose written, yes. And on purpose, as you mentioned, very, very slimmed down, and only UDP support for now. We have seen that that's what customers want so far. We could add more, but so far we have chosen not to, just to keep the software stack very small. And yeah.
And again, this we see this being installed in very not necessarily very accessible places. So we would like to avoid bringing in technology that needs too much patch management.
Yeah, so we've also heard from our customers that they do not want to have to go there and update firmware, and if possible, they want to never change anything. Right. But of course, it will be possible to do that if you have to. But yeah, so that's a bit of a different kind of objective with this product, yes, than our other software-based product.
And of course, software, you should always take care of your software. But then again, this is a hardware data diode. So yes, the unidirectional communication will always be intact.
It will always be intact, yes.
So then finally, the data diode engine. This is our software, and the ones that have been working with Adrenica for a while, you're all familiar with our DD1000i, which is the data diode with internal proxy software, that helps us get data over the physical data diode. With the data diode engine, we took that software, we rewrote it from scratch. Yep. And with that, you have the possibility to run the software off box. So you can have it installed in any, more or less any server or computer of your choice. And it's a container, so you can have it installed in a virtual environment as well. Now, just to be very clear, you still need a physical data diode. Or you should have.
You should have to guarantee the unidirectional traffic.
Yeah. I mean, for testing and so forth, you could do it just between two computers, but the concept is that you have a data diode in between the software parts, the sending and the receiving proxy. So the main benefits of using the data diode engine instead of the alternative of the DD1000i is that I mean it's very flexible. If you don't have space for a 19-inch device and so forth, you can build your own solution.
Sometimes you have parts. Even maybe we
Exactly.
don't always want to say that, but you may already have a hardware data diode, and you want to extend the functionality.
Yeah.
And with this modular approach, it's very easy, as we say, to scale up, scale down, and build new solutions on top of what you already have.
Exactly. So and also this is the software that will be the standard software for the DT1000i in the future.
Yes.
From now we have the option to run it on the DT1000i, but it will be the standard software for the DT1000i as well. So with this product and this software, we can optimize performance and secure transfer. We can enable new use cases for our hardware-based data diodes. It's very flexible, easy to scale, and work with all our hardware-based data diodes. So this is the concept. You have a data diode of some type, one of our hardware data diodes or the DT1000i, and then we install the software on each side of the data diode. And we have the data diode engine, which is the base,
the platform, if you like, or yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the data diode manager for managing the data diode engine. And on top of that, we put the services that you want to use, for example, file transfer or OPC UA or
MQTT or
MQTT. Or yeah, so there are new services released at
quite often.
Quite often, yeah. And also we will be happy to receive your feedback if there's a service that you're missing that you would like to see.
Yeah.
And we can see if we can develop that for you, either customer specific or as a future
part of the product portfolio. Yes.
Product portfolio, exactly. And the only difference here is that if you use the DT1000i, this software is installed on the physical box. So this is our complete product range as of now. We have touched on the new products here in this presentation, and there are some other products that we haven't touched, but you will learn more about them in coming webinars.
Yep.
Next week, no.
Next quarter, maybe.
Soon.
Not to promise too much.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time. We're very close to the hour. So let's see if we have any questions from the audience in the chat. Please use the chat. We have a couple of minutes.
If you think we can, while you're thinking, we can say that if you have any questions that you will think of in after this session, then you can always contact us.
Yes. Yes. And we will share the presentation with you guys. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe a question about our data diode engine. You had both the 1G and the SFP diode as compatible data diode products, and then you immediately start thinking, what about 10 gig then for the software?
Yeah.
So we can just say that right now it's 1 gigabit support in the software. But it's a roadmap item, and we will have support going forward for also the software part of the 10 gigabits.
Right. So, and if you have customers now that would like to have this, we can of course provide one gig version of the software, and then when available, they can upgrade to the 10 gig version.
Yes. Do we want to talk about our some prices there as well, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the newer diodes, the
Yep.
SFPs,
The SFP, yeah.
the pair, they
Yep.
are same as the 1G.
Yeah, so it's 1,500 per side.
Mm.
So a complete solution with 2 SFP plus, it's 3,000 euros.
Yeah, and our 500
Yes,
planned price is 3,750.
3,750. Yeah,
It's
a bargain.
It is.
Yeah.
It's since we are think that's the list price, of course, but this could possibly be a high volume product, and with a high volume, then price could be, of course, adjusted. Yes. And for the new software, we have a subscription license model.
Yes.
So you pay a license fee yearly and all included support and upgrades.
Yes.
Well, to summarize that, yeah. And maybe a difference then from our 1000i, where you buy the product and you pay a support agreement, and you get access to all the services. With the engine, you will actually pay only for what you use. So
more a la carte.
It's more a la carte. Yes, you have, of course, have the base engine, but depending on how many services you want, if you only use file transfer, then you only pay for file transfer. So that's a difference between the two.
And flexibility as well.
Yes, so flexibility is the focus there for the software.
And actually, when talking about prices, with the Advenica remote access device, no, I forgot the prices, but
it's a bargain.
It's a bargain. Yeah. But anyway, we have a not for resale alternative for you. However, we need to check your interest, so please come back to us. But what we could do is to give you a one of those devices for 550 euros. It will be hard connected to a cloud service that we are in control of, but you can use it for demo purpose with your customers. You can live demo things using our cloud tenant and have full access. The only thing you can't do is to resell it as is. But there are more to buy. Yes. So,
of course, if you want demos of any of the products, get in touch with us, and
we will be happy to demo.
And show you what they can do. Yeah.
But I would appreciate if you could come back to me saying that this concept of a not for resale remote access device would be very interesting. So we can check that we have enough interest to build that solution, because we have like a minimum that we need to reach before we can set it up. What else? Any new questions? No?
Okay, maybe we should round off then.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So again, thank you very much for attending. And me and Tove, we say hi from Malmö.
Hi from Malmö, yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.